We are Brightside Home Theater.
Hey, home theater nerds, welcome to the Brightside Home Theater Podcast. The Home Theater Podcast, it's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds.
The scenes.
I thought you had sounders for all of us. That's why I was waiting.
No, I can't do that. I wish I could.
Stadium.
Yeah, that's the that's the one. Did you hear me with Martin when I use these?
No,
This is the-
I didn't get
that's
to that
the-
bit yet.
The megaphone. It's the last thing I need. That's what I said with Martin. You didn't hear that part?
No,
Oh
not
yeah,
yet. No,
we
I
went through
listened to-
all of them. So
Oh, what are
we
the
had,
others? One.
we have
This is the monster. Called Monster.
That's awesome. Why can't we have those?
Well, let's get to
The large robot. I could do it, but you wouldn't be able to hear it. Only I could. Because I could channel it through there. And then there's the small robot. And this is people's favorite.
The pitch up.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you were a 6-pack a day smoker for about 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should be holding something to your throat.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So this one I haven't tried yet, though.
That's a helium one, surely.
Nice thing you should be
This
making
one.
cookies in a tree.
this one's called Voice Disguise.
Uh,
Yeah. So
It
it's
sounds
not
like
really
something out of
much
Scream.
different than Monster. That's Monster.
Hmm.
And that's Voice Disguise.
No, it's
It's the same to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So leave the bag of cash in the trash barrel.
Keep the change.
You filthy animal.
only John would ask for change in a ransom situation.
That's right.
John's like,
Hey, man,
we have your son. Yeah, I need change.
you got to shoot your shot.
John's got the bag of cash. He's like, I couldn't break this 100, so I need change.
I need, if you don't
Can I
validate
get, can I get
parking,
50
then-
back?
I don't want to overpay for my kid. We set the value, and that was it. I topped out.
Tips are greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Oh God, that's
They're
great.
cool. I want those deeds. Why can't I have them exactly?
So what happens is those get routed. Like I could route it to your channel, but the thing is you would both get it, and nobody would hear it but
Oh.
me. So it would only go out. I would have to edit it in on the audio only podcast because right now, like on YouTube, everybody's hearing you guys directly through your microphones.
Mhm.
So I can only do this through this, and I would hear it in my ear and I'd be laughing and you guys would be like, great, I got to wait till Friday to hear this. So, and then I got to do a whole lot of editing to drop that in over the live feed from you guys.
Are we buying this, John, or does G just not want to share his toys?
Yeah, I think that's really what it is.
All right. How about this? You can do it. You just got to go get yourself a Roadcaster and then attach it to your system and then you could do it yourselves.
Now that
Right.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
if
do
it
have a
will work.
Roadcaster Mini and which is cheaper than this one. I have the Pro 2. And since then they've come out with a Mini and you could put that in but then you'd be calling me, how do I set this up? 'Cause it's
Yeah. Man. No, it sounds like too much
A
like
lot
hard
more
All right.
work than I want to be putting in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get one of those screen voice changers.
Just stay.
Yeah. John will just be like, I'll just do this.
Yeah.
I'll just do this. I'll talk like that.
Yeah, so how much
Yeah,
does it
yeah,
cost to get a balloon full of helium?
Yeah, I'll just
Yeah,
buy
exactly.
a balloon. And
Next week you see a big pile of balloons behind
I'll
John.
start smoking 6-packs a day real quick.
No, what was the opposite of that? That was on Big Bang Theory too. He
6-packs a day.
no, Leonard came home with a certain gas, like it was the opposite of helium, and you breathe it in. and you
Nitrous
don't-
oxide.
Was it
Not
was
laughing
it
gas, wasn't that? Was it?
nitrous oxide? Wouldn't maybe no nitrous oxide? I don't know if that makes it
Nos.
deeper.
Yeah. It's like a laughing
it?
gas, isn't it? I'm no expert.
Well, that- Yeah, I don't know. It's in the show. If John's in the chat, John Thompson's in the chat, he'll let us know.
He'll know.
He'll remember. I can't remember what it was, but he's like, he did it. Him and Penny did it, and he's like, oh, he sounded like Cookie Monster, and that's in that too. So
It really sounded like this.
Oh,
So,
man. See,
yeah, it was
he's
pretty
not
cool.
sharing his toys, John.
I
Tell him
know.
off.
He's just teasing us, man.
Yeah,
Rub it
that's
in.
right.
Rub it
All
in.
about the teas. I don't share
Yeah.
the toys. All right, we going down that road? Oh
All right.
boy,
So how we doing, guys? Everyone all right?
Good.
good. Yeah, I'm doing good. A small little house update that along the lines of positivity moving forward and negativity of the aggravation. My electrician called me last week. He's like, "Yeah, we want to come in and we're gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna button up a couple of the final things to get the rough inspection. I'll show you what you need to do, blah blah blah." Because I'm doing like a bunch of it myself to save money. I'm like, "Great, let's do that. When can we do this?" And he goes, "Maybe next Thursday, Friday." I'm like, "Perfect. It'll be raining. I'm around. I can be there all day." And he's like, "Great." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have power yet though." He goes, "You don't have power?" I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Oh, you should have power." I go, "I know, but I don't."
Yeah, right.
And he goes, "Why don't you have power?" I go, "You're the electrician." I said, "I'm like, you told me it's a waiting game. I called you. You said, call the electric company." I'm like, "I called National Grid." They're like, "Yeah, you're in the queue. Okay." And it's a waiting game.
Right.
And he goes, "Oh, you should have called me and told me you didn't have it yet. Your instructions were you got to wait. I'm waiting. I did what I was told." He's like, "All right, I'll get my office on it. We'll get it over there." I'm like, he goes, "Oh, I wish I knew." "Well, I wish you didn't tell me to wait." I'm like, say if you know what I mean? Like if you want it, like you say, "Hey, if you don't hear anything from them in a couple of weeks, give me a call back." Not it's a waiting game. And then we went to the bank. We had to meet with the bank for sign for an extension for the construction loan. And the guy at the bank, I'm like, "Yeah, we've got power to the house. We have it connected to the pole. Everything's run." I go, "I just need the meter guys because it's a different crew that installs the meter at the house." And he goes, "Oh, wow, you're further along than a lot of people." He goes, "I'm hearing from a lot of people it's like 6 months to a year."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Oh, great. That's good news."
Mhm.
And then, so I'm hearing that and I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. I'm like, I'm in the queue. I'm in the waiting game. Okay. And now my electrician's like, "Oh, you waited too long." Well, you didn't give me a time limit. It's just wait. I did that. I'm good at that.
Right.
Not really, but thought I was doing good. Nope. Apparently I screwed up waiting, guys.
Yeah.
Mm.
But now he's pushing forward. So I think he needs money. So he wants to do some work. So I have to pay
Well,
him.
hey, yeah.
So that's how it
Well,
goes.
It's one way to describe service from an electrician. Shocking.
Yes. There you go. Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. Wow. We nailed that one.
Yeah.
Nailed that one.
Ooh, yeah. Smooth.
There we
smooth.
go. See? Yeah.
I just wondered why why it is your electrician sounds like Joey Tribbiani from Friends.
Oh, well.
Hey, over there, coming over there.
Yeah. Coming over. Oh, Eddie.
All right.
Eddie
Right,
Boombox.
Should we say to everyone hi to everyone in chat? then?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go
Just-
through it.
Alrighty, so Dom was in merch earlier on, I think, and saying hello. He was listening to Takeover Tuesday in traffic. So there you go.
Nice.
So yeah, I said great listen as always. Thanks for the amazing content, DJ. Great.
Ooh, who said that?
Dom teaches.
Wow. Yeah. teacher, wow.
dear.
Great,
What's he after?
great listen as always. Thank you. Amazing content. Yeah. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But
Yeah.
thanks, Tom. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Really, I do. I'll let you
know. All right, and then AC3's in, of course, Captain on Captain again, heavily referenced in Takeover Tuesday Part 2
Oh, yeah.
this week. TSG's in. Hey, TSG. Mikey's in. Steve Att is in the chat. Rach is in from very sunny Cornwall, so south of England, on the south coast, excuse me. So Rach was in. Someone called Steve George was in. Don't know who that was.
Yeah.
We've got God, throat suddenly dried up.
You
Mikey
okay?
Fram's in. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're okay. It's a Red Bull. It dries my throat, but it's the only thing that keeps me awake. So, and I was saying to John before the show, I've done 3 days in a row on call, and I am shattered. So Red Bull is required. So anyway, so Helen Nelson's in. Hi, Nelson. Scruffy's in. Paul's in, of course. And who else did we have? I saw a number. We said Scruffy, didn't we? Yeah, this is where they have a discussion about bacon and ice cream, fellas, which I think we can all agree should be illegal. And they should surrender themselves immediately to their local, Attorney General's office.
Yeah. Well, what kind of bacon? Not bacon. What kind of ice cream is that?
Does it matter?
I guess not.
Unless it's egg ice cream, I suppose.
I've had chocolate covered bacon, which is quite nice. So chocolate ice cream and bacon,
Well, you changed your tune.
Yeah.
I never said I wasn't about it. I just didn't know what they were talking about.
I was going to go in the other direction as long as it's not chocolate.
Oh,
It'd be
I
like
don't know.
maybe like a vanilla.
Bacon is pretty good.
What about like my grandmother used to give me coffee ice cream with maple syrup? And it's like, so what if it was like coffee ice cream with some bacon and maple or something like that?
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know about that, but I'm like, I don't know.
Stomach's turning.
Yeah.
So Jack Lee's in. Jack, let's get off that from who I need a bucket to puke in. We've got Brian Deeds in, or indeed Brain Dead. Hey, fella. Marcus Beebs in. Hey, Marcus. And we've got Joe Klusnick. He said good afternoon. Bill McAllister's in via X. Hey, Bill. And I think that's all the news that's fit to print. Yeah,
there we go. Fit to print.
Oh yeah. Steve Hatt says bacon with anything, even more bacon.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, well, hey, I've got no problem with bacon on its own, or in a sandwich, but with ice cream, what the hell?
So good. No, I couldn't do that. I'm not good with bacon and sweets. Even like like caramelized bacon and stuff. I'm like, it's all right. Or like bacon with sugar. It's sweet bacon
or savory, not both.
Yeah. Nope.
Alrighty. So, fellas, can I briefly talk about a home theater issue that has come up last couple of days?
Steve, the gall of you to talk home theater on this home theater show. What are you, crazy?
I know. I apologize.
Buster away, Steve.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Floor is yours. Okay. So, all right. So yesterday, there's a company in the UK that we've talked about before. They're not alone in this, so we're not singling anyone out, but this is who I ordered it from, called HMV, who are one of the very few high street retailers. Either and by that, obviously, I mean you guys would say brick and mortar, but we'd say high street retailers. One of very few that specialize in physical media. Okay, they do vinyl and stuff, but they also do thousands of DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4K discs. And so yesterday morning, as I am wont to do on a Monday when these things are coming out, and when I decide I'm not going to get them online, I'm going to buy them in person. You can ring a central line in this company and have discs put aside in your local store for you to then go and collect. All right. So they're not sold out like Kaleidoscape. All right. They're there. So I rang yesterday morning to, because there were 5 movies out yesterday that I wanted. So Kill Bill 1 and 2, Mufasa, Craven, and The Substance. And at the time I rang up, I was expecting the Kill Bill 1 and 2 to have steelbooks, because all you could find online were steelbooks of Kill Bill 1 and 2, and they were £35 each. So you're looking at $40 each, give or take. All right. Yeah. Depending on tariffs, about $40, give or take. By tomorrow, it'll be double. So anyway, when I rang them, they said, "Oh, do you want the steelbooks or do you want the normal versions?" Normal versions, I asked. Yes, normal versions. Yeah. And then £25. I was like, okay, yep, sounds great. So I went and picked them up, and here they are, all right, amongst the other ones. But here are the 2 Kill Bill ones. So there's obviously Kill Bill Volume 1. Try and get that off axis so you can actually see it. And then Kill Bill Volume 2. All right, so those are non-books, normal 4K discs, okay? And it turns out, so I went and got them. I picked them up, and as I am wont to do, I took a photo of them and put them on Twitter to show off. Sorry,
I saw them.
Share them. Yes, share them. And so what happened then was immediately I get tweets from people going, "What do you mean there's standard versions?" I said, "Well, I don't know what you mean. There they are. They're standard ones." And they said, "Well, but they're only steelbooks. You can only get steelbooks. That's all there are. There are no standard versions of Kill Bill 1 and 2. And I said, "Yes, there are. And here they are." And it turns out that whether it be Amazon, HMV, Zavvi, or anyone else, either online or in person, the only ones advertised were steelbooks of Kill Bill 1 and 2, at least in the UK. Obviously, I can't talk about abroad, but in the UK. So what it appears has been done is the standard ones are in-store exclusives, but they're not telling anyone about it until you get into store to buy them.
Right. Yeah.
So how do we think about that? Or what do we think about this idea that as far as anyone knows, the only thing you can buy unless you go in person is the more expensive steelbook of these two titles? It does seem a little bit naughty to me that they would be pushing that and not tell you about the standard ones unless you happen to ring up or stroll into the store. That seems kind of weird to me. Just me?
Now, just FYI, on American Amazon, you can buy the standard versions.
Yeah,
but they are $35 a piece.
How much of the
I don't know if those are like resale prices. I don't know if these are being sold by other, although they are American versions. Yeah, but yeah, and then the volume 2 Kill Bill steelbook is $65.
Geez,
I mean, that's about, so it's 65 and 30. But again, these are probably jacked up resale prices now.
Yeah, I think that's got to be. But I haven't encountered that before. I haven't seen that before. And it caused real consternation on Twitter because suddenly, my DMs were blowing up and there were people responding left, right, and center. And some people getting very annoyed because they were like, look, I've just spent £150 on discs today and I could have done with saving £20 on those 2 discs straight away. That would have been great. And, saying, I don't care about the steelbook. I want the movie and I want it, in 4K, but I don't want to, get done out of it. And a lot of very unhappy people, one of whom was Jordan Carpenter, who's at the cinema tonight. Right. He's in the chat. It just seems a bit naughty because we talk about how we are niche of the niche, aren't we? We're trying to support physical media. And it does seem a little naughty that, that they're not publicizing the fact there is an alternative to the more expensive version. And it's not normally like that. Most of the time they give you both choices and they will tell you, but with this they haven't.
You would think, I would say you would think that the reason to have a store exclusive version, which I'm not opposed to, would be to draw foot traffic into that store's physical location.
Mm-hmm.
So by keeping it a secret that you have these, how are you?
Right.
You're not drawing people into your physical location unless they stumble in on their own. So it would seem counterproductive to keep it a secret if you're trying to draw people into your physical location. Having owned and operated a store for a while, I like store exclusives that, you have to go in physically and buy. But I would, if I was privy to something like that, I would let people know that I had said item.
Well, as a store owner, I hope you would be privy to it.
I wouldn't keep it a secret. You know what I mean?
I didn't know either.
No, but there were certain cases. I mean, there weren't that many cases where we got items that you couldn't get online. But every once in a while, you'd get a store exclusive item. But you'd want to shout from the rooftops that you had this item so people would come in and get it, not the other way around.
There were.
So
there are cases though, John, especially in with collectibles like that, you would maybe not advertise and you do it to, like in a case of a comic book store, maybe you are getting a few in that you don't advertise because it's for the people, the regulars, the people, they are the privileged ones. They get to know about it. So you're not going to advertise. So
if it's a limited store exclusive item, sure. If HMV is only going to get 100 of them or whatever, then
because you don't want some guy to see the advertisement and beat out your regulars that morning and be like, oh, what the hell, that's not fair. But to your point, Steve, it's like they're doing everything exact opposite. Like this is the cheaper version, which is more readily available, and they're not advertising it, which they should, to John's point, because they'd be like, I'll save some money, go down and do some shopping. That's fun. The in-store experience is what we all miss, right? Being able to go to Suncoast, where I used to go, or any other Sam Goody or Dave, where I got my Laserdisc. That was the fun part of going into the store, right? They're not even advertising that, like John said, to get you in. And not only that, I'll add the other one. When you find out, well, now you're mad.
Yeah.
And you're
Well,
like,
that's what
it's
was happening
bad.
yesterday.
You're
Yeah.
looking at it as like, it's not shady. It's not, they're allowed to do it, right? Like if I have 2 copies of a disc here and I want to sell one online on eBay, I don't have to post both. There's no law telling me, oh, you've got to tell people you got everything. No, I don't. And they don't. But that's not good business practice because you're actually angering your customer base. And like John said, you're not even bringing in, you're being counterproductive to your entire business model.
Right. Well, and the other part of it too is like, let's say I was prepped to pay $120 for the 2 steelbooks, and then I discover I can go into the store and get them for $80. I've already put aside $120, so maybe I just buy something else, and the store still gets
my money.
$120.
Yeah,
they get
right.
the money, but now I've got 3 discs instead of 2, and but
Yeah.
you know,
And
I'm
maybe
more
you
likely
want
to spend
more.
that money anyways.
Right.
And then you wander in and you see, oh, I didn't realize that was on 4K.
Right.
Well, I'll get that as well. And oh, look at that poster. And oh, look at that collectible. And oh, do you know what? I'll buy that as well. It's just very odd. And as you're right, as you say, DJ, you know, you do annoy the customers. I mean, that's what was going on Twitter yesterday. The people tweeting, you know, do you know what? I'm really annoyed at this, and I wouldn't have bought those had I known. And now they may think twice next time about going to that or any other retailer about it.
Right.
Yeah, it did seem weird. I mean, I get that you might have the steelbooks be the in-store exclusive. I get you might say, well, you know, come in and see this, you know, lovely new artwork and everything else, but you can get the cheaper ones online if you want them. But yeah, to only tell you about the more expensive ones and not tell you unless you ring up or go in about the cheaper ones. And it was the same with Jackie Brown as well. By the way, I didn't buy that because, as I've said before, it's not my sort of thing. But it's the same with that steelbook. Only thing advertised. There is a standard one in store. So yeah, odd, very strange.
Well, and it seems like they're doing, because like now looking at on Amazon, they're only advertising Tombstone 4K in steelbook. I don't know if there will be a non-steelbook version.
There is in the UK because I've pre-ordered it. There is a non-steelbook version here. I don't know about the US. But
You start to see where that's what they are advertising in most cases. Is, you know, like you know, maybe it's available somewhere else, but looking at Amazon real quick right now, the only one is the steelbook. So
yeah, it's just strange, isn't it? Because again, you're trying to tub thump for physical media. You're trying to keep that niche going. You know, they must be making money from it because otherwise they just stop it tomorrow if they weren't.
Well,
So why try and annoy your niche market? You'd want to pander to them, wouldn't you? You're not going to want to annoy them and upset them. And yet, as I say, I mean, if anyone listening wants to go onto my Twitter feed and have a look, you can just see these messages of people going, "I'm really annoyed. I would have bought the cheaper ones," you know, or even a number of people I'm sure out there who are thinking, "I'm not spending £70 on 2 4K disc steelbooks. Had they known you could get them for 50, maybe those people would have been like, do you know what, I will buy that." And instead, they've just held off and not bothered. So again, it's counterproductive, isn't it? It's just weird. Very
well,
odd.
I mean, I love Tombstone, but I'm not paying $56 for it. I'm not paying $56 for a steelbook that doesn't have upgraded audio. It may not be any better than the Blu-ray I already have. You know, it'll have sharper visuals, but if it's the same audio track, why am I spending $56 for it? You know,
Well, Jack says, Jack just says, what version of Captain Phillips did you get, Steve? I can only see steelbooks. Yeah, mine, I think, is the steelbook, Jack, from memory. I can't tell you now, mate, because obviously it's in a cardboard sleeve. But I believe it was, I think it's up in the attic. I think it was the steelbook from memory. I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, the other recent example, as Paul mentions in the chat, is Panic Room. And that was a steelbook only. And that's gone. You know, that you cannot get that at the moment for love, but you can get it for money. But it's now one of them. I kid you not, fellas, right? On Amazon over here, and anyone that's over here wants to look, or if you want to type in amazon.co.uk, it's £700.
Let's see what it is here.
I've ordered 2. No, I'm just kidding. For Panic Room on 4K disc.
Why?
Because it's gone.
Well, actually,
stay gone at that price.
They're cheaper on eBay if you want to get them from the US, but on Amazon
right now you can buy one on Amazon for $69.96.
Yeah, so a better deal.
Yeah,
but on Amazon UK, it says £700. Crazy.
But still $70. You know.
Yeah, well, quite. I do want to get it. I'm going to get it, but I can wait. I mean, I haven't even got the Blu-ray of that, so I mean, you know, I haven't seen that since DVD. So I can wait and see whether they do a standard version, a non-steelbook, or whether they just drop in price at some point. I'm not in any massive rush for that, but I would like to own it. But I ain't going to go spending that kind of money.
Yeah, well,
Oh, God.
$75 for it. But
Yeah. But there we go. But Jack, if you,
it's no Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
Well, quite. Yeah, no. And Jack, Captain Phillips, by the way, I did review it on the show. I don't know if you heard it, but it's an awesome disc and a fantastic Atmos track. So well worth picking up, Jack, if you can find it for a decent price, mate. It's a great movie as well, as I'm sure you know. So, yeah, very good. Very good. So, yeah, just a bit weird. It only happened yesterday. Very strange. I hope it's not the start of something because, again, I think next time I might be a little bit more wary and thinking, actually, do you know what? Yeah, there we go. TSG says there. See, he's looked it up. Panic Room. 700 or £1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I said, I'll have half a dozen.
Or 1,000. Well, I'd get the one for 1,000. I mean, it's
I
gotta be
might
better,
buy
right?
one for $70.
You get
and
what
turn
you
around
pay
and
for.
Sell it for 700. But
Maybe there's an alternate ending.
yeah.
Yeah.
For that kind of money, I'd want to be in the bloody thing.
Well, we have some creative people out there, Steve. They could put us in it.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, we're on the
Yeah.
posters, and we've been,
Hey.
and we're now on the, you know, the cover art. So it's one next step we need.
Yeah.
The three of us just standing in the background.
Yeah, that's it. Well, so what are we then? Who's playing Jodie Foster? Who's playing what's her face? Oh God, Kristen. Who's the daughter?
Oh, we talked about it
Twilight.
last week.
She's in Twilight. She's a oh God, I forget her name.
Kristen
Stewart?
Kristen Stewart. Yeah, she's the daughter in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not playing the villains. Someone's got to be Jodie Foster. Someone's got to be Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
And someone's got to be the kettle that the camera goes through. It's the only thing I remember about it. It's weird, isn't it? I've seen it a couple of times.
More than I remember.
The only thing I remember is there's a shot where you've got a kettle with a handle, and the camera goes through the handle of the kettle, all in one shot. And that's what I remember about Panic Room. And it's not worth £1,000 to revisit that shot. So there we go. Anyway, but there it is. So very strange and a bit weird. And as soon as that happened yesterday, I thought, you know what? We of all people should be talking about this because this seems a bit naughty. And again, just counterintuitive. Should be pushing physical media, not trying to make it more difficult. But you know, there we go.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's well, at the same time, that's not. Are they the actual producers of it though? They're just the retailer.
No. Just but they are the retailer. I mean? But they've bought them. They've bought the steelbooks and they bought the standard ones, and so they've made a decision not to advertise the standard ones. And it would seem so have other retailers. Again, I'm not singling out HMV. We're not doing that because we don't want to get letters. But
we do.
Well, yeah, but not cease and desist letters.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why we brought you on, Steve.
Hey, man, it's not my area of expertise.
John and I had a discussion a few years ago. We got to get him on here. One of these days, we're going to say something
we need
stupid.
legal representation on this show.
Look at us. We're not that bright.
If you go and shoot them, give me a call. Otherwise, it's not my area.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess. Oh boy.
But yeah, so very, very strange situation. But hopefully it's not the start of something new. Maybe this is just a retailer balls up. Let's hope that's what it is. Because if it's anything more than that, then that's quite worrying. And again, next time you'd wait till the release comes out and then go in and see whether it's, you know, a different version or not. That's not good. Not good. Anyway, there we go.
Buyer beware, do your research, all that jazz, I guess, you know.
Well, yeah, but you know, who's going to be ringing the retailers? Who's going to be going in? I had to make a 30-mile round trip to go to one store to get those yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know, it's a lot of effort to go to get something, and most people won't do it.
Yeah.
So you know, there we go. I'll stop moaning.
Oh no, that was great. That was great.
It's good moaning.
There we go.
No, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. Actually, I had. Oh, do I have the picture? Let me see if I have the picture. Greg sent me a picture the other day. I can't find it. I'm scrolling through my text here. To Joe. Oh, here it is. Whoops. No, it's a link actually. Never mind. But yeah, he saw on Facebook the 85 Pontiac Firebird coupe, and it looks exactly like Kit. It's all done up like Kit. The inside is done up like
Has
Kit.
it got the red light at the front?
Yes. Yeah, it has the red light, and then it's got the pop-up headlights. But let me see if I can get an image here, and I can pull it up on the screen somewhere.
How much was it? I'm not going to buy it. I just want to know how much it was. It's probably cheaper than Panic Room on 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Let me see if I can.
Just wait doing it. Yeah, no worries, Paul. Paul says that's super helpful. Yeah, no worries, mate. Like I said, I didn't know myself, and I bought it, put up a picture, not expecting it to cause the kerfuffle that it did. But yeah, it certainly has opened a few people's eyes, and hopefully some people are going to save some money on the back of it, because it's an expensive hobby. This one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see the picture already.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I'm trying to see if I can blow it up to the screens.
Don't blow it up. That's a criminal damage. You will need me to help you if you do things like that.
There we go. Let me do that. Let me get this.
You'll be prosecuted as a domestic terrorist.
There we go.
No, because it's not a Tesla.
So there we go. $35,000. And there's the
wires.
motor, but
Just the motor?
No, but here there's the pictures.
Oh man, look at that.
Oh, and they have the DeLorean
What's
there
that?
too in that picture.
I was going to say, yeah. Oh, look at that.
Look at the inside
Can't
of
be
it.
road legal though, can it, Deej? That can't be.
Why not?
Well,
Yeah.
'cause look at the steering wheel. That can't be legal.
You seen the steering wheel on a Cybertruck?
No,
Not that far off. It's not round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's like a pilot
Look
thing.
at that.
Isn't it? That can't be legal.
It's got 6,000 miles. You can see manual transmission. That's
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't manual. Come on.
If there was ever an automatic car.
I know. Exactly.
Please
but yeah.
please change to third gear, Michael.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Mirror
Yeah, here's
signal
here's a
maneuver.
video file.
Let your foot
of
off the clutch.
Michael,
If
you
can't
just burned
find it,
another
find it,
clutch.
Michael.
There it is. Look at the paint job on it, though. That's what I'm noticing.
I
It's
was
really
saying,
nice.
Only DJ is looking at the
Yeah,
paint
wouldn't
job.
notice the paint.
Yeah, there goes the light. Look at that.
Oh,
Isn't that thing
that's
awesome?
beautiful.
But it even has the 3 lights in the bumper there, which was unique to, I think, Kit. I know that wasn't normal.
The
Yeah.
only problem is it would have to make the woo woo noise.
Yeah.
when they're like, you can't have it without that. The noise.
I
is-
wouldn't be. Look at it, the turbo boost up the dash there and
Yeah.
everything. Remember all that? That thing looks. Jeez.
It does look good. There's no way that
35
would be legal in the UK. No way. You couldn't. drive that.
35 grand. That's not. I'm like that's a bargain.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. My parents didn't need countertops.
Or cabinets.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly.
That's one of those things. Ring them up and say, does it come with a copy of Panic Room? If so, sold.
It needs to be cleaned though. That's
Oh, yeah.
disgusting right there. I'd redo the motor. I'd clean up that motor. Not redo it, but I could clean that motor up big time.
Yeah. It's
For
in
sure.
Danvers as well. So it's only just down the road.
Danvers. Oh my God. I've probably
Yeah,
seen this
Danvers,
thing.
Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
Yep. That is nice.
But like I said, you'd want
Well.
to check it's road legal first. Typical lawyer, I can't help it, right? You could not drive that in the UK. That would be illegal. You'd be in all kinds of trouble for that. There's no way that stuff in there is Ministry of Transport approved.
Yeah. Well,
So you'd be in a lot of
Yeah,
trouble.
I
if you
mean,
did that here.
we play fast and loose with the rules here in the US.
Yeah, Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
mixing our franchises.
well, that's the actually I think a lot of that goes out the window on classic car. Once it's a classic car.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I know emissions goes out. That's how you get away with a lot of the the old cars, the roadsters and stuff where it's got no roof, no windshield, no and you can get your inspection is like it's a classic or whatever. There's certain things, at least in Massachusetts, I know.
Yeah,
And,
you can't do that here. I mean, even classic cars still have to conform to road safety standards. You just can't do that otherwise. And again, that steering wheel, there's no way that's legal. The odometer there, the speedometer, all that's not legal either. You'd get pulled over in minutes, and after the officer has drooled all over the car, then he'll give you a ticket. That's the coolest thing ever, sir. Right, you're coming with me. You're under arrest.
They might confiscate the vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can I drive it?
Yeah, it's
I used to have I used to have a BMW Z. Well, I had two BMW Z4s actually, one after the other. And of course, what I realized very quickly over here is that police officers love BMWs, and the reason is they're squad cars. A lot of them are Beamers, and they just think they're great. And it used to be that I would pull up at the police station, and they would let me park. Oh God. You might have heard this before. They'd let me park the car in the police yard, right? Just as I came to say it, that occurred to me.
There we go.
Yeah, so they'd let me
wow.
park the car in the police yard, and yeah, so next to all the squad cars, there was a BMW Z4, and it was great because it meant no one would mess with it out the front of the police station, so I could just park it in there. It was great. They did it with both of them. Fantastic.
Nice. Yeah. We used to drive to shows in cars that are not legal at all, like trucks. Like we drove one. We went like 4 towns away to a show in a monster truck that's not street legal at all. Packed that
Really?
car, yeah, yeah. And it this thing had a big. I think it was. I have pictures of it somewhere. I think it had 3 huge TVs in the back of it. And the bed flipped up like a dump truck, opened up, and the everything, the frame, everything underneath was chromed. Like it was gorgeous. And the name of the truck, like written, like airbrushed into the paint job and everything on the bed and inside the bed. It was a red truck with flames. And then it said money to burn. And we're at a show, and this lady walked by. That's ridiculous. What would you do? That's such a waste of money. Why would you ever do that? You're at a car show, for one. And 2, it's called money to burn, lady.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. The whole inside of it was all redone. Like we molded it with fiberglass and remade the dash and the center console and everything, and all that. The thing was gorgeous, but it had monster tires, and it's like that's not legal. It's like, no, that's not legal at all. But they're not going to pull you over, because it's like it's in a line of all these show cars, like Ferraris and older cars, and they're all like these kind, like we're literally driving around puddles slowly. What are you going to pull these people over for? They're not going anywhere fast.
Well, the police cars, you just ride over them in the monster truck, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. If you're in Roadhouse, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't, like I said, doesn't matter what the car is, you can't ride it around in the UK. You can't drive it on a public road unless it's road legal. And so there are various stipulations. So, and you would get pulled over. I mean, you'll get a training officer with nothing better to do, who's got paperwork to fill out, and they'll pull you over just for the sake of it. So you wouldn't get away with it here. And I mean, some of the penalties could be pretty significant. I mean, you'd lose your license if you get more than 12 points for 6 months. It'd be quite high fines and everything else. So you just can't do it here.
I got pulled over on my way to work in my old truck that had lettering on it, and I was brand new on my own. Brand new. It was probably my first couple of years. And I didn't have a commercial plate, but I had writing on my truck. And this town cop in Acton at the dealership I was going to, the town cop pulls me over, tows the truck. And I ask him, can I have it towed to the dealership I'm going to? And he's like, yeah, you can have it dropped wherever you want. You just got to pay the driver. I'm like, all right. So I do that. Dealership was great. I got everything straightened away that day, got my work done. I had a game that night skating. 3 guys on my team, the state troopers, and they're like, give me the guy's name. What a dink. He's like, 2 of the state troopers were actually transportation, which is basically they're basically Homeland. So if you're in transportation, all you're doing is pulling over trucks and searching them. It's Homeland Security stuff. And they're like, that guy never should have done that. He could have, if he wanted to, at the most, he could pull you over. He should have. He can't do what he did. But he's like, he was being a dink. He's probably brand new. I wouldn't give him the name. I'm like, I had the ticket. He gave me a ticket too. But I'm like, no. And they wanted to tear him apart because they're like, he was just like, oh, I can do this. And he's like, they should have just warned you because he's not wrong. But you should have commercial plates, but you don't tow the damn truck when the guy's on the way to work. It's like, who did you think you were stopping there? Some great terrorist or something? I was like, I'm just trying to get to work. But yeah, so there are people here that do that real too. Name. Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, right. Let's do some movies then, because Steve Att's telling us off.
Oh, again, I like that though. That's what makes it fun. So
Keep
what
the
else do we
dogs.
talk?
Getting
So-
told off.
Yeah. Do we want to get back to the egg flavored ice cream we mentioned earlier? Bring that back.
Oh,
So
God,
all
see,
right.
now my stomach's turning again.
There we. All right. What do we want to lead off with, boys?
Take your pick and go for it. See how you got. Yeah, anything's
What do we
good.
got? Well, let's. Did you guys finish this?
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't we lead off with that?
Mhm.
Huh? We haven't talked about this
Yeah.
in a couple weeks, and now it's over.
Mhm.
So we'll bring this up. I'm actually. All right. Oh wait, wrong one.
Man, you did that
That's what
last
you
time,
really
didn't you,
thought.
with Reacher? Yeah, did you do that last time?
Yeah. Sorry, wrong section of audio sound.
See, he can make himself sound like a big robot, but he can't avoid any of the other sounders.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
That's okay, we're talking Reacher season 3.
Season 3. This is what I look like standing next to Reacher. Wait a minute.
That would
let me
never
change
not be
that
fun.
before I get off that page.
You're going to really upset the AI, though, John. Deej.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly. Well, the AI kind of porked me this week on the latest one.
You should be so lucky.
Yep, I should be. So, all right. What'd you think of the season finale of Reacher 3? We are getting a season 4, which is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You'll have this forever.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, what's
So,
your
what'd you guys
favorite-
think?
Yeah, John, do you want to do your bit and say what you
Well,
thought?
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was great.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the season. I liked the wrap up of where we ended this story. You know, I mean, not, I guess not completely. I mean, did anybody not know how it was going to end? You know what I mean?
No.
Like there was no surprises. really.
Yeah.
But I mean, it
No.
was a fulfilling conclusion, I guess. But I mean, you know that he's going to end this season on the road to set up for the next season. And
Yeah, he ended
what
this one a
happened.
little differently, though.
well, yeah,
I'm pretty sure the next season we're going to see him having joined the Black Widows from
Right.
Any Which Way But Loose.
Yeah. Yeah. He grabbed an article of clothing and a vehicle,
yeah.
which is not like him. It's like it's usually him and a toothbrush.
Yeah.
And,
and
and
a
everything
bus,
else. Huh?
Yeah, at a bus out of town,
And
isn't it?
a bus or just walking. He just walks everywhere. And yeah, I love the relationship with Neely, how that plays out every time. And it's like, and not, spoiler free, but I mean, the season is over, but even how it plays out here. And there's one interaction where she's like, I'm already on the move. It's like, she said one thing like, she goes, hey, I heard your name and it's time to go, stuff like that, which I thought was really cool.
It was. I thought it was great as well. I really enjoyed the series. There hasn't been a duff one yet. 1, 2, and 3 have all been good for different reasons.
Really good.
And he just is this character. And again, look, we get what it was building for with the fight that we've all been waiting for. We get and
Although-
actually a nice long fight as well.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you think it was a bit too long, or were you okay with
You
it?
had rounds, didn't you?
Yeah, because I was like,
3
okay,
rounds or 4
how
rounds.
long is this going to go?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It did take up a third of the episode. So,
But we've been waiting for it. In
We
fairness,
have,
I mean, they've
we
been
have,
teasing it and teasing it and teasing it. And so again, we won't talk about how it ultimately ends. Although I thought it ended very quick, and I'm not sure he had the time to do what he did. But anyway, I
Right.
might have to rewatch that bit because that all seemed like I had time to do that. When?
Did
But
you
anyway.
Speaking of that, did you see the stuff? I saw it on, I think it was on Twitter or whatever, or X, whatever you want to call it. What's his name? Played Elvis, the kid. And he was in
Butler?
Austin Butler.
Austin
yeah.
Butler in his gun training. Did
Yeah,
you
I
see
saw
that?
that. Yes, I did.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
quick
really
reloads and
good.
stuff.
When you see stuff like that, you're like, maybe he did have time to do it. Maybe a person would have time to do that. Maybe like you said, Steve, like you watch it on the show, whatever he did, spoiler free, he did something with a gun. But he does something with a gun and we don't know what it takes to do that. So maybe he would have. But when you see Austin Butler, who's like Elvis or a pilot, or he's just an actor, but you see him moving and like the the clip changes, the move, the flip clip, and everything that he does, and then his accuracy when he did go shooting, you're like, holy crap. And who was the woman next to him? Was she another actress, or was she training him?
I think she's training him. I think because I can't remember what he's got coming up. It's something big. Oh, it's Heat 2. He's playing the young Val Kilmer in Heat 2.
Oh,
that's what
okay.
he's doing that for. That's I knew there was something that just occurred to me. That's what it is. So yeah, he's playing the Val Kilmer character, much younger.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's good. But then you see Keanu Reeves do that as well. When he's doing the training for John Wick, he does it also. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so impressive what they can do. What you can, like for a role. It's one thing when you've got, these guys like, they work out, they get big, whatever. But the training that they go through, if it's like Tom Cruise is known for all of his stunts, but doing it, Keanu Reeves doing his stuff, but it's like just seeing these guys and you're like, man, that's it. To me, that'd be the fun part of being an actor. Never mind being on screen. It's just like, what do I get to train to do? My luck, I'd be like, all right, you're going to play Liberace. Crap, I learned the piano.
Well, what will your training be for that? Oh, no,
exactly.
Right, the piano. Right. Just saying, Deej.
Yeah, it's like learn to play the piano and the flute. But
I didn't say it. Let the record show. If the AI is listening, that was Deej.
John,
right? That wasn't me.
John, the top of his head is turning red.
I know.
Oh boy.
So anyway,
oh man,
Reacher was really good.
Schramm's was sitting around the dinner table going, Liberace played the flute.
Yeah. Dad, what does he mean? What I did find
once upon a time at band camp.
The last two episodes, I thought Duffy was much less annoying with her accent. I think she kind of eased off.
I think we've just cashed in the chips on that. I don't think it's less annoying.
I think it's like what we were talking about before the show, Steve, when your ear just kind of gets used to it.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I thought that's where I came in on that conversation. I thought that's what you started with. I honestly
don't. And you just get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she started off kind of mid-level Boston and kind of a bit silly, and then by episode 2 or 3 she went crazy and just was ridiculous. And then I thought the last couple she kind of backed off it a bit, and I wonder whether I get pure conjecture whether episode 3 they shot first, so you get the really silly over the top accent, and then they've backed off them as they go, so that like they've shot episode 3, then 1 and 2, and by the time I get into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, she's kind of realized, I'm not that good at this,
right?
And is back and felt like she'd backed off it a bit, and you didn't get the Boston jokes either then as well. That all kind of went by the time we get to the tail end of the season 2, and I think that might have been them going, we can do something else here, or like you say, just got to tune to it and then just kind of blocked it out. Which is, I
think it's a combination. I think a lot of the jokes and stuff come at the beginning to get people hooked. You know what I mean? You get the Boston people hooked. You get people like anybody that has a connection. You do that at the beginning, get them hooked. You don't need to do it the rest of the way. You do, I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, another show, but you do certain things at the beginning that you're never going to see again. It's just to, get people enticed and want to watch the rest of it. I mean, you don't have to do it at the end of it. It's over. What are you doing?
But she was definitely less annoying by the end, I thought, and just didn't kind of faze me as much. I did like how that resolved itself. I thought that was quite a fun little yes, that was fun. I liked that.
Yeah,
that was clever.
I was going to say the exact same thing, Steve. The only thing I thought was fun that I thought was weird is their interaction. Spoiler free. Their interaction was like, it seemed one of sincerity, and then the other one says, that's usually what I say. So then sincerity goes out the window because you're like, what do you mean that's usually what you say? I thought I was special.
It was fun. It was well written, that, and that was kind of, that's I haven't read the books, I must admit, not any of them.
Yeah, I have.
And so I don't know whether in the books this is from that book or not, or whether this is the screenwriters going, look, we know this is silly, So let's have some fun with what always
Yeah.
happens at the end of each one of these. I don't know, but either way, it's good and it's well done, and it fits the times quite nicely. You know, the times we're in. Again, not going to spoil it, but I do like how that wraps up. I think that's good.
I like when she makes the comment about the barn.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, and he's huge compared to her, right? And he's like looking over, so like her head is like down by his chest, and he's just standing there looking at her. And she mentions the barn, and he goes like this. He just looks over at it like, okay, I can make it there. It's a great ending for that. I thought the ending there was some stuff that I was like, I was like the kid. I was like, that's weird. I wasn't, just, I want to talk spoiler free, but I thought that was a little weird, but it didn't ruin anything for me. And I'm looking forward to see what they do for season 4.
Oh yeah. I mean, we could watch this guy forever. This will never get stale.
And I think there's like 1,000 books. So
yeah.
Well, the guy's a wanderer. You can do a million things.
That's what I'm saying. You can just go on.
Yeah.
It's whether we'll get tired of it before they run out of material.
Well, before it seems repetitive, right?
Well, it's already repetitive, but
well, not really. Season 1 was obviously it's unique unto itself if you haven't seen the movies, but your introduction to the character, it's pretty cool. And especially what I thought was unique about season 1 was we knew this character. If you haven't read the books, you knew it through Tom Cruise. And then, I mean, anybody paying attention, we knew that Tom Cruise wasn't the prototypical Reacher. He was smaller. So now they get him to play it. And now you see it. And it's like, okay, that was cool about that season. Season 2 it wasn't just him. It was his team. It was everybody. So it was him working with a bunch of people. And now in this one, it's like him working with a couple other people. Now, do they go back to the loan thing? Do they go back to, what is it? So,
well, this one is with him undercover as well, which is a different thing as well. We haven't seen that yet either. The only thing that will interrupt this, the only thing that will stuff us from getting more of Reacher is if they cast him as Batman. And if they do that, then that'll obviously scupper all of this.
Which he said he'll do for free. So
yeah, he has.
It'd be kind of crazy not to cast him.
Yeah, he would be an amazing Batman. He'd be a terrible Bruce Wayne.
I agree.
Because
I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, if this like door-sized lumbering Hulk is Batman, he's not going to come off as Bruce Wayne. You'll be like, oh, hang about. There are 2 door-sized hulking great people in Gotham, and we're not going to put
Steve, Superman puts on glasses.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
but have you seen? And I've
people of comic book world are not very bright.
Well, not only that, it's like John has the best to come back with that is Superman and the glasses. But the other one, mine was going to be, have you seen him in the comics? He's like this giant, not the comics, but in the animated series, he's this giant V of a man. And it's like, then he's Bruce Wayne and he's a giant V of a man. So you're like,
animation. You can't.
I said it's a cartoon, but
no, and that's why I said it's the ridiculousness of it. But speaking of the Superman in reference, have you seen that on social media? I saw it probably a month or so ago, the one with Christopher Reeve, and he takes his glasses. It's the scene in Superman 1 when he's in and he changes his posture. He pulls takes the glasses off, straightens up, and you're like, holy crap. You're like that's super. I mean, that's amazing. He could pull something like that off.
He's too big. He's too big. He'd be awesome as Batman. Don't get me wrong. He'd be amazing as Batman. But the Bruce Wayne thing is where it would just be probably for me, I think, is where he would struggle. Because I just think it's like you're just too big. You're too conspicuous. You stand out. Whereas, you need to be able to play both. And Christian Bale was a perfect example. He when he had the suit on, he did look big. When he as in the bat suit, when he's in his tux, he didn't look that big. He doesn't look all imposing, but Alan Ritchson, like that, is not going to be able to carry off a tuxedo or a posh suit. That whereas the bat suit, he'd look great in it.
The way they make movies now. Imagine this: he goes and shoots at that size. They shoot every Batman scene, every shirtless scene in that size. And then, it'd only take him a few weeks, drop size, and now you shoot the Bruce Wayne scenes, and we'd all be like, how the heck did he do? How is he? No, that would be the comic. You could draw him differently. You could do this. Imagine that, where it's like, because I know the stories of, what's his name? Christian Bale, he came in to play Batman and he was too big. He was at 220 and he had just come off The Machinist, and they brought him down. They told him to get down to 180. He was too big. So could you imagine they shoot everything with his hulking size as Batman, and then they actually shrink him down and shoot everything as Bruce Wayne? That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but then physically they don't match. That's your problem then. So you then
I know, but
you know.
Yeah, but he would look the part. And you'd be like, how did he do that? And look, they do it in the opposite direction. They take a skinnier guy and they put it all in the suit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So. I'm willing to be proven wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see him as Batman, but I just think that the Bruce Wayne thing is where you have a problem. Now, could you tell me this then? I know obviously time's getting on a bit. We've already talked one, but tell me this. Could you have a Batman film? Okay, again, you guys are my comic gurus. Yes, you could. Right, good. That's it. Brilliant. Moving on. No, could you have a Batman movie where you don't see Bruce Wayne?
Yes.
Where he's only Batman, and that's it. So you don't have to worry about that because he's never Bruce Wayne.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Can you?
Yeah. Good.
You reckon? I don't.
You'd have to write. It depends.
To be
on
fair,
story, right? But you could.
Yeah. To be fair, how much Bruce Wayne did we really get in the latest one, the Batman? It was him, like he just rode around on a motorcycle, but he was all because he hadn't fully become Batman yet.
Sorry.
Yeah. If you take
the Batman,
if you take this, the theory like they did with the recent Spider-Man movies, that you don't have to do an origin story for Batman anymore because we all know it, then yes, you could tell a story where he never leaves the suit. I don't know if it's a good story. It really depends on what they do, but I think it could be done for sure.
It would be a challenge, wouldn't it? It would be an interesting challenge.
But could you do, I don't know if you could do 3 movies and have them cross over into Superman and Justice League, or, if they're building a universe, I don't think you can keep Alan Richardson out of the Bruce Wayne persona, forever. Like, one film you could do.
What if just for the heck of it, somebody got creative and wanted to do like a one shot? Like 1917, and you did an entire Batman movie from like the time he woke, he goes down the pole and it's like whatever into the cave, out on the mission and back. That's the whole movie, and it's like it seems like one shot all the way through.
A sort of Fury Road.
We would love that. We would love that, and you'd never have to see Bruce Wayne. You just know, but that'd just be one comic.
Cheap. It would be cheap as well. That's your $50-60 million movie rather than your $250 million. If you shoot it like Fury Road, all supposed to be in almost real time,
right.
Then that's a cheap movie which would break the mold and be different in terms of the Batman world, and that could be done, relatively sensibly. Warner's, give us a call. All right,
we got some ideas. We're like, we just put them out publicly, so don't use them without credit, please. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right.
James Gunn's pretty responsive on Twitter, so.
Not anymore. He's not. He's off Twitter now.
Oh, well, no. Well, I guess he's on Threads. He talks crazy over there. So.
Yeah, he does. I've had some conversations with him on Twitter when he was on Twitter.
Yeah.
About the Suicide Squad. Yeah.
He's very responsive, so.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah, he seems like a decent guy.
Of course, you can't pitch him anything because then he'd owe you a lot of money.
But anyway, so that was Reacher AI.
Yeah. That was... Do you want to get to an actual home theater experience right here?
Go on then.
What do we got? Who wants to go? I got one. You got one. John's got one.
If it pops up, we talk about it. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. I want to hear about this one.
Oh,
good.
So do I. Yes.
All right, here we go.
In Spanish?
No.
Okay, just check.
Oh, wrong button.
Every time he's got comedy sounders for every time there's a new thing starts.
That was a censor.
Right. Okay. So AI, this is Desperado. on for the 1995 Desperado on 4K UHD disc, however, only DTS HD master audio, but upmixed to Neural X. So this is part of the Mariachi trilogy released by Arrow, where you've got the Mariachi was the first one, which is only on Blu-ray, Desperado, which is in 4K, and then Once Upon a Time in Mexico, which is on Blu-ray. All right, so slightly weird trilogy, but there it is. But luckily, the best one of the three by far is this one, and we get it in 4K. Now, chaps, I mean, how many times have you seen this movie? I'm not going to ask if you've seen it. You both will have done. How many times have you seen it?
Oh, I
Made
on Laserdisc. I've
more
seen
than a couple, but
yeah.
not
Oh
for
my
quite
god,
some
I
time.
love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw you add it, and if it was on Kaleidoscape in 4K, it was like, buy and watch. I would have watched it with you. They only have it in HD, but yeah, it's
okay.
Love this movie.
It is fantastic. I, like you, Deej, apart from Laserdisc, have owned this on every format going. So I have had the DVD. I had the Superbit DVD.
Yep. I think I can go
Blu-ray.
grab it.
Yeah, yeah. I had the Blu-ray and now the 4K disc, and I know every scene of this movie, every word of this movie. I love this film. This film's great. And even before, the Spanish thing, I love this movie. So it's fantastic. And I'm sure
Was it
most
filmed
people...
in Spain, Steve?
No.
All right,
it was
good.
filmed in Mexico, actually.
There we
They
go.
all were.
All
Yeah,
you're
so it's
looking
all good.
for is continuity.
Oh yeah, sold. So love the movie. And the film, anyone who's been living on Mars and doesn't know, it's a movie about Antonio Banderas plays El Mariachi. I don't think he's ever referred to as anything other than that.
No.
Well, actually, he is in fact Juanito. He is in fact, we do get his name at the end. Anyway, spoilers free. But anyway, so he is El Mariachi, who is on the trail of Bucho, who has he believed wronged him, and so he is on a rip-roaring rampage of revenge with a guitar case full of guns. And what we get is this just fantastic Tarantino-esque, with Tarantino in it, movie, or with Salma Hayek, with Cheech Marin, with Danny Trejo, and this film just oozes class and is fantastic. I love this movie. This is tantamount to a masterpiece for me. So seen it many times, know it backwards. Great. First time then 4K, first time in Cinema George. So I'm very pleased to report it looks fantastic. And right from the opening shots, if you are like me and you know this movie as well as I do, you will immediately see a difference in terms of the detail levels. They've spent some time on this. I think it's original camera negative remaster. And so it's in 185 and there are lots of close-ups. And because it's in Mexico, everybody's sweating. So you can see every bead of sweat on their faces. You can see every pore, every pockmark, every skin detail. It's fantastic. Now, it was a low-budget movie, this one. It was bigger than El Mariachi, but it was still a low-budget movie, and sometimes that does rear its head a little bit with some grain here and there, but the close-ups on it are awesome. And at the beginning of this movie, a character gives a kind of sets the scene of the legend of El Mariachi and a visit to a bar. And he talks about shadows and talks about the character emerging from the shadows and back into the shadows. And all of that is then shown on screen. And if you've got your screen properly calibrated, you then can appreciate the extra information in those shadow details. I loved watching this again. It looks tremendous. It really does. Now, the audio, again, first time for me listening to this in Neural X, it's great as well. It's really good. The guns sound as beefy as you want them to. There's loads of surround information when they're on the streets and you can hear cars coming to and from. They all go around the room as they should. When you get the big bar shootout fight sequences, it sounds awesome in a kind of Looney Tunes sort of way. I mean, it's not done realistically. It's not supposed to be, but it sounds exactly how you want it to sound. So, and the music as well, which I also happen to absolutely love, especially the opening Canción del Mariachi. So the mariachi song is just, that's what it's called, is brilliant. And it just sounds great. And again, it floats around the room like the best musical stuff does in your home theater. It floats, and when it's Spanish music like this, it just, and I happen to love that anyway, and it sounds great. So no brainer this one, Deej. If it does come up on Kaleidoscape, get it. If you're a fan of it, go for it.
I just bought the disc. I just bought the 4K.
Oh,
disc,
what, the trilogy? Is it all three?
No, I just bought Desperado.
Was it
for now.
separately available in the US?
Yeah.
I think it's been part of the trilogy here.
Yeah,
right.
it was like $29.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now too. You can buy both, but this is available separately.
Yeah,
okay.
I just bought this one, and it'll be here Thursday. So I'm and it's gonna rain Thursday if my electrician doesn't call me. Guess what I'm doing?
You'll be outside with the hose over the window. Oh, it's raining. Oh no.
Yeah, be careful if you look at this on Amazon, because they list it as the Mexico trilogy in 4K, limited edition.
Desperado. Yeah.
So you have to kind of look into the description. So don't get fooled if you're looking at it on Amazon, because
I mean, they've all been remastered. In fairness, they're all new remasters. But yes, the only one that's 4K is this one. Although if you said to me you can only have one in 4K of these three, this is the one I choose all day long and twice on Sundays. So yeah, it's great. I had a great time with this again, and that image there does actually give you some idea in terms of the extra detail levels and stuff in that, and all that. It's great. So yeah, I don't think anyone will have any complaints about this disc. It's very cool indeed. So yeah, well recommended. AI, that's Desperado.
Yeah. Wow, you're just helping me out with making it so much easier for me to handle the show. Let me see if I can let me pull this up here. Way to go. Yeah, so here it is. This is what I just got.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's the Arrow version.
So $29.99 Arrow.
How much is the trilogy, Deej? If that's $29.99 for that.
$61.
60. Oh, so yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's additional options. Limited edition is $58.11 for the limited edition version. So let me click on that and see what that looks like.
Because as we might discuss in a bit, the other two are not essential purchases. This one is. The other two, less so. For reasons.
Let me I'll show you this. This is this is the special edition version. I just have to save it here. Give me 2 seconds.
Please
hold. So there you go. Now I'll swipe. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
so
fine.
That's the limited, Steelbook
so
edition.
$58.
Yeah, $58 for different cover art, really.
Steelbook and you get 2 more movies, but neither of those have got the rewatchability of Desperado. I mean, they're just not the same. Again, for different reasons. Mariachi is
that's just the movie.
That's just the steelbook for
that's just the steelbook. That's not the set.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, forgive me. I should have bloody read it.
That's just a limited edition Desperado. You're getting a steelbook with that cover on that, basically that cover.
But the 3-movie set is $61.
Okay, where you get a couple bucks more. Yeah,
where you get the 4K of Desperado and then Blu-rays of the other two.
Yeah. I'm not even seeing
I've had this for months.
It's right underneath. It's literally right underneath Desperado. Well, depends on how you searched it on Amazon, I guess.
Well, no, I'm seeing it as frequently bought together, but it's not bringing up. It's got frequently bought together. It's got Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, this is called the Mexico trilogy.
Let me try searching that. Mexico.
I'm sure it's out over there. I'm sure they have. I mean, I seem to remember seeing it. Like I said, I've had it for months and just not got around to it. And this week I thought, you know what? Now's my time. So yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, there's the Mexico trilogy, and like you said, it's.
But like you said, you could easily buy this thinking that you're going to get all 3 of them in 4K. Because it's a bit misleading. So
yeah, it's weird. There it is. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so it is a bit a bit weird. I mean, I wouldn't personally say I haven't watched El Mariachi on Blu-ray, but I have seen Once Upon a Time in Mexico, which we might talk about in a bit. And I personally wouldn't say you need to buy the whole set. Just get Desperado, because that's leaps and bounds ahead of the other two. Although there are some positive points to Once Upon a Time in Mexico, which, as I said, we might cover in a bit, if not next week.
Let's see. What do we want to do next? AI. What should we do next?
I'm confused.
Let's go. I want to hear John's take on this.
Me too.
And you haven't seen this yet, right, John? This is the first
I
viewing?
had not seen it.
Mhm.
Okay.
I've
I
seen it
hope
now.
you've seen it now.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. He's about to, everybody,
seen
he's
this,
about to talk about a
I'm
movie
about to
he
watch
has
it
not
live.
seen.
This is
Yeah.
a watch party now.
I listened to a few YouTube videos of people that did see it, and I'm bringing it
Here's
to
what I
you
wanna
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Shane
is
said-
John's AI version where he summarizes. All right, here we go.
Okay, so this is the Netflix version of Craven the Hunter. Like I said, Netflix does have this in Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, 4K, all that good stuff. So yeah, I do not live under a rock, so I have seen and heard all of the things that there was to say about this movie. So needless to say, I went into this with lower than low expectations. So I am happy to report that this movie did in fact exceed those
Oh.
lower than low expectations.
How is that
Um,
possible, you may ask?
Yeah. I actually thought this was pretty fun and had a good time with it. It is by no means a good movie,
No.
but it is fun and it is silly and stupid. The acting is not great. The faux Russian accents are pretty bad, but it is fun and
Well,
it
at least
is a
Russell
good time.
Crowe isn't Zeus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Hello,
a good
peeps.
time with this. Now, again, it could be that my expectations could not have been lower when it
Right.
comes to these movies. So take it for what it's worth. But I had a great time with it. I enjoyed it. It was never less than entertaining. And if you go into it with that expectation, you will probably enjoy this as well. I would not run out and buy the $29 4K disc for this.
Now you tell me.
But
Yeah.
I will buy the $10 4K disc of this because I do see myself probably watching this again. And as far as the presentation goes, this was excellent on Netflix. This was really good, and that is why I would buy the $10 4K disc of this because I
Did
would
you want to buy this
anticipate-
one, John? I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
for $10 you can send it my way.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I being a Sony disc, and the way this was presented on Netflix, I imagine the disc would be excellent because it was razor sharp, 4K, Dolby Vision, looked great, and the audio was surprisingly good. Even like I said, even for streaming. So I would be interested to see how this looks and sounds on disc. And I'll watch it again just for that. And like I said, in this Sony Spider-Verse, whatever you want to call it, I would rank this a little behind the first Venom. I would rate this well above 2 and 3. It was better than
Yes.
Good.
what's the Madam Web.
Mhm.
It was probably on par with Morbius when it comes
Okay.
to that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I would rank it. So however you felt about Morbius, this is probably along those lines. For me, it was anyways.
Okay. I'm looking
For
forward.
me,
Sorry, go on, Deej. Go on. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say for me, I would put. It's funny. I'd say it's a push with Morbius. They're like dead even, but for different reasons. Like, it's funny because this isn't Craven, right? This isn't the comic character,
Oh no,
but I still loved the story. I still loved the idea of the movie. It's like if you could separate it from the comic character and go with what they're going with here and just go with that. I really, really enjoyed that, you know, and again, expectations were lowered, but I still had a lot of fun with it. Morbius.
and they are trying to set up again. They are trying to set up more of a universe even
Yeah.
through this movie.
they're
there's two
failing
more-
miserably, but they
There's
tried.
2 more characters introduced,
I
but
tried to fly once too.
we kind of know that they're done now. Like this was the end of it, so it's not
Yeah.
going to go anywhere. Kind of like New Mutants, you know, they were trying to set up they introduced Chameleon, they introduced they introduced some other characters that could have been cool, but they're not going to
Yeah.
go anywhere. So
You ever seen the videos of a dodo bird trying to fly?
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're doing here. It's like
Well, but I mean, they even tried to bring him closer to the comic version of Craven towards the end of the film. So
right,
they were
like this
trying
is,
to, like this was obviously kind of the faux origin story.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the end scene in the chair is right out of the comics.
what they were trying to do, but
I felt like that felt forced at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like all of a sudden they're wrapping up the movie and he just goes.
Yeah.
You're like, really? like
no real spoilers because I think that was the poster. So
yeah, no, but even like stuff like that, I know it's a comic book. I don't come at me on that. But I feel like in real life, if you saw a chair and you were like that, you're like,
yeah,
I feel stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, exactly. Like Steve's like, yeah, all right, I got my coat and a chair. What am I gonna do? You're like, oh, I saw this in a
I'm
comic
not
book.
gonna have a shirt on.
Right. I saw this in a comic book once. Let me try. But Morbius, I like the story in that as well. But my memory of Morbius was just that the audio in that and how they utilize the audio. There was demo scene after demo scene in there of like things bounce. That scene with the tennis ball where it bounces around the room or whatever. That's incredible. That to me is like, that's what made that so memorable. This one, this has, I think, a great soundtrack. I think the audio in this is really good.
Even through Netflix, it was surprisingly bassy at times. Like there was some, there's some stampedes, and so there's a lot of good rumble and some tactile bass. So I imagine the disc, Steve, will be quite nice.
Good.
Well, and I'm sure you saw it on Kaleidoscape. So
yeah. I was thinking of joining you on it and jumping in and watching it this week. I just didn't get a chance, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I'm hoping to watch it this week. Look, again, the disc came out yesterday, so I'm looking forward to giving that a go. I've seen the first 5, the escape from the prison scene. I've seen that on because they released that online, but none of the rest of it. So yeah, no, I mean,
don't mention Patrick Stewart.
No, giving it away.
Yeah.
I can hear the sounds of being blocked.
Yeah,
it's a secret.
Yeah, that's in the trailer.
Oh man. This one here, I got this one. AI, we're about to start another one, so here we go. Oh.
All
right. Have either of you heard of this?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I heard about this through our buddy John Thompson a couple weeks ago. We're talking Last Breath. It's out on Kaleidoscape, 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, all of that. And it's who's in this? It's Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Simu
Liu. Yeah. Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi. Yeah. But
or Ken's mate from Barbie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right.
We're all Ken.
We're all
so
Ken. We're Ken enough.
This is So this is it's actually a true story. It's Last Breath, separated by a storm, deep sea divers race to find a way to rescue a member of their team before he runs out of air. It was awesome. Absolutely. I can't believe I went on IMDb afterwards and I'm like, it didn't do well in the theater. It's like but I'm telling you, as a home theater movie, we'll get to that in a second, but as a movie itself, I had to take my glasses off multiple times because I was like bawling my eyes out at a couple of scenes. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's emotional. But the suspense, the action, you kind of know what's going to happen, but the way it plays out and the emotion, I would say Woody Harrelson. I love Woody Harrelson, but there's a couple of scenes here where you go, that's Woody. Like from Cheers, and he's supposed to be emotional, and it kind of takes you out a little bit, just a little bit. Like there's a couple, and when you see it, you might know what I'm talking about, but at the same time, it is the story is amazing. And some of the what's his name, Shang-Chi, forget how to say.
Yeah,
Simu Liu. Yeah, he's awesome. His character is awesome. Those two characters in real life aren't American. And when you watch it play out at the end and they'll show you the real people, one of them, like the main character, actually looks like the real life person looks more like Woody Harrelson than you know what I mean? Like, it's not him. Woody Harrelson should have played that role, but he's older. So but you'll see what I mean when you see it. But it is so well done. I thought it was awesome. And I was all day today. I was like, how do I talk about this and not talk it up? So everybody goes, well, it wasn't as good as DJ said. I can't help it. I loved it. The home theater part of it, it didn't have incredible bass. It didn't have incredible pans, but the way they used the audio in this was like next level for emotion and stuff. There's some undertones during some scenes that when you're paying attention to it, it's just like this low hum to give you that tension, that feel. The music, like you were saying earlier, Steve, it's like the music floating around the room, like literally over your head at time. The atmos in this, it's like the music bed was over your head. It was really, really nice. And again, lots of tension in this. I made one comment today. I was talking to somebody about it, and I'm like, John's going to see this and be like, sure, that can happen, but it is a true story. And it's like, you see this stuff and it's like, this is why this stuff happens. Okay. So like, it's not really a spoiler. The only reason they can do this stuff, which I thought this was part that was really cool, kind of like Titanic, the movie Titanic, they give you that technical stuff and you're like, for the guys, you're like, this is awesome. Well, these ships for these divers, this is what they do. They're out in the North Sea and they go out, and these ships, you think of a ship and it's got propellers at the back, a rudder, and it goes through the water, right? Well, these ships have propellers all through the bottom of them, and it's all automated. It's like a Tesla ship practically. And everything, they can sit in a storm and stay right over their target and just sit there because the computer knows like the wave goes like this and the ship never moves. Well, it's not a spoiler. Guess what? The computer crapped out. And now the ship goes off course and they have to try to do it manually. That's part of the story. But there is one home theater part that's not a spoiler. The tech guy on the ship, he goes down and they're like, what are you going to do? He's like, the only way to solve this is we have to reboot everything. But this thing's so powerful, we can only do that in port because it takes hours to boot back up. And the captain's like, got to find a workaround. And he goes downstairs, goes down to the rack, and there's like these big racks, like home theater racks with all this network wiring coming out of it. And only the home theater guys are looking at that going, oh. And I'm sitting there, and this guy's like, I got it. And he's like, he pulls it out. He calls up. He goes, I found it. I got to pull all this and rewire, blah, blah, blah. And the captain's like, can you do it? It's got to be perfect. He goes, yep. And I was like, I wanted to interject because I got a home theater at home. It's like, because I'm looking at it going, yeah, that's awesome. And it's like, I've had people see behind my rack and go, that scares me. Get me out of here. They get anxiety looking behind the rack. And I'm like, no, that's fun. And that's that one scene in that. It was so cool. But the picture on this, I don't know if it's because maybe I watched a bunch of like streaming content or what, is absolutely stunning. The 4K picture on this, the shots of the ocean above water, everything, when they're going out to sea, anything they shoot, it felt to me like, remember when we used to get like Super Bit and it was like, ooh, this is just a little crisper. This just feels a little crisper, a little better than everything else that I've seen recently. Inside the ship, looking at the screens, I was like, my screens in real life don't look this good. And they're showing all the stuff and the dials and when they had to manually maneuver the ship. Stunning. It absolutely stunning picture. And they did use some actual footage from the actual incident. So that gets cropped in there, which is done from an underwater, not a movie camera, not done in a tank. So that gets inserted and it's perfectly inserted. Looks fantastic, which only enhances the movie part. Absolutely. I want to say you guys got to see this. You got to see it.
Which studio is it, Deej?
Good question. Let me see.
because it was a kind of blink and you'll miss it theatrical release here.
Yeah.
I saw that, the billboards were up and then it went and it was gone and that was the end of that. But it did look interesting.
NBC, Universal. Universal. I saw like the opening trailer was awesome. The audio and that. And what is it? Lighthouse or whatever, Focus or whatever. Yeah,
Focus features. Yeah.
Focus features. That all of that in the opening scenes, you're just like the bass in that I was like, oh, this is great.
Well, I hope that we'll get a 4K release of this on disc over here. But sometimes Universal just do they do what they did with Cocaine Bear. They do what they do with they're doing it with Abigail. We'll give you the Blu-ray. You can wait forever, and then we'll give you the 4K, and you can buy it again. So that's probably what they'll do, but I hope not, because that sounds very cool. And always in the market for another sort of deep sea type movie.
The director actually did. It's based off. Obviously, it is a true story, but they also did. The same director did the documentary on Netflix. There's a documentary, same title, Last Breath, on Netflix. And that was the other thing I was going to say. A lot of this feels like documentary style shooting, but it's not. It's not a documentary, but it felt like that. And you'll notice when you first start watching it on any format that I think you'll get the same feel I got, is that they used a lot. I feel like, I don't know this, I didn't see it on IMDb or anything. I feel like they use a lot of real divers and real people for the ships and stuff, because there's a lot of shooting like Woody Harrelson walking around, or Finn Cole, I think, is the lead character, and it's like he's walking through the ship, hey guys, and a lot of people doing one of these, like they can't speak, right? I got a shot, you know what I mean? They're extras, but they're actual people that work there, and it had that feel in it, that, and then every now and then you'll get a guy in the background go, hey. It's like, okay, that was an actor. They'll pay him some money, but everybody else is an extra that's just working there. So I felt it gave it that real feel, and it also gave it that documentary style, the way they filmed it and moved around. So, but
I look forward to seeing that.
Looks like just Blu-ray, Steve.
Oh man,
so far.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, Blu-ray on April 29th.
There we go. Yeah, so they'll leave it a year, and then we'll get the 4K disc. This is the Universal release strategy. It's naughty, but there it is. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Well, that's too bad. That's too bad. All right. What do you want to do next?
Is it me now?
Yes, it is.
Why don't we do another something else in the deep blue sea?
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Smooth.
Yeah, just man,
look like we were that.
Yeah, like we rehearsed it.
Okay then. So AI, this is Deep Blue Sea, another Arrow release. Bloody hell, sponsored by Arrow. This is the Arrow 4K re-release of 1999's Deep Blue Sea, Rennie Harlin's greatest movie. Next to Die Hard 2. So yeah, Deep Blue Sea, 1999. This is on 4K UHD and with a brand spanking new Dolby Atmos mix, which are not a given with our movies by any means. So this was new. Now, guys, again, a bit like Desperado, I'm not going to ask if you've seen it.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to ask how many times you've seen it.
Bunch.
Oh yeah.
Good. Rightly so. All right, excellent. Now, I have seen this movie countless times, and I've owned it on, again, DVD, Blu-ray, everything that they've released it on. Had they released this on one of those, the little kaleidoscope things that used to come out in the 80s, with the little picture things, I would have done that as well. But they didn't, so I couldn't. So, seen it on everything, and I love this movie. This is... it's not Jaws. Of course it's not Jaws. But it is probably my second favorite shark movie after Jaws. Sometime, quite far after Jaws, but nevertheless, it's very, very good. So, now I haven't seen it, though, for a while. Yeah, quite, yeah. It's got a very long time after Jaws. I haven't seen it for a while because I have seen it so many times. And again, I think this is my first time in Cinema George, at least this iteration of it. I watched it again, and it's every bit as fun as it's always been. And again, I know this so well. This was never going to be less than fun this time around because the movie's the movie. Anyone that hasn't seen it or isn't sure about it, this is a film set in a sea lab called Aquatica. And on this sea lab, there has been an incident, which you see at the beginning, and we have an inspection that is going to take place of this facility by its owner, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And he comes to this facility, experimenting on sharks and trying to make them more intelligent for reasons.
Yeah.
And things go wrong. Surprise, surprise, and it all goes haywire. And it's an all-star cast. I mean, you've got Thomas Jane in it. You've got LL Cool J, of all people.
Yeah.
And obviously Samuel L. Jackson and various others. And it's never less than B-movie classic territory. And it's just as good now. It hasn't aged a day. Love it. So, in terms of the home theater presentation, now the video on this, it is an original camera negative remaster. I had been told before I had seen it that it was a really good update of this movie. Now, bear in mind, I know it ridiculously well. And I don't think in the main that it is a dramatic upgrade to the Blu-ray. There are some sequences that look noticeably better. Whenever you see LL Cool J, he's got a cut to his head, and he's got again little beads of water and sweat on him, and all that looks great. That picture there, which has got Thomas Jane underwater, the underwater footage does look really good, and at times quite three-dimensional. That sequence in particular looks very nice, but it's always been a bit of a murky, muddy, kind of a dirty looking film. Certainly all the opening is as well, and it's quite soft and it's quite grainy, and that's not gone away, I'm sorry to say. So it must be baked into the movie, which is a shame. So it does look better than it's ever looked, but it's not brilliant, and I was never blown away by how it looks. But I'm very pleased to report the track is the reason to buy this particular version. I mean, like I said, it does look better than before, but it's the audio that is enough to make this a must buy. So opening, you get some quite cool things. There's a helicopter shot that comes over, so the helicopter comes over the camera, so it goes over into the overheads, and there's things like that. That's fine. And there's a little moment at the beginning where a ghetto blaster, remember those?
Yeah.
Falls into the water, and so you get the change of the music from above water to then below the water, and that's quite a nice little thing. But when this mix comes alive is when things really go wrong. So you get an explosion, spoiler alert, people, from 1999. There's a big explosion, and then when the Aquatica is falling apart, so is your cinema room in the best way. So you've got flaming debris falling from high up in lift shafts, elevator shafts. Sorry,
is there such a thing as nightbrie?
Nightbrie as debris, yeah, makes sense. Could be. It's darker stuff. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, bloody hell, that's worthy of me. That one, dude. I was going to say I'm rubbing off on you, but hey, look,
You
say on you.
Yeah.
So
where's that censor button?
Yeah. So you get these kind of this flaming debris falling from these elevator shafts, and it feels like it's way above you, and it's coming down through the overheads. You've got all the creaking and the water and everything else moving around. You can hear things moving in distance. The whole thing comes alive, and it sounds like a modern mix. It's really well done, and it just it transforms what is a fun B movie into a blockbuster experience. It's really, really good, and that's the reason to buy it. It's awesome. So yeah, very, very cool. Awesome.
Can we put that should be on the box? The reason to buy it, it's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Done.
That's the reason to buy. The reason to buy it, it's awesome.
It's awesome. Done.
It's so funny, and only Steve could say that, because John and I, that's our summary. That's how we said, this is awesome. Steve's like so eloquent, and then he wraps it up with the reason to buy it, it's awesome.
Done.
It's like, and in summary, it's awesome.
It's awesome. Awesome. But yeah, it is what you said.
Yeah, what he said. There you go.
So it's great, and yeah, the audio is the reason to pick this up. If you haven't seen the film, you're in for a treat if you get this. If you have seen it, you've not seen it and heard it like this before, and it's a no-brainer for me as someone who loves this movie. Again, as I was saying, ways that are most unnatural. This is the version to get. It's out there, isn't it? I know it's definitely out here. I'm assuming it's out there.
It is,
as
yeah.
well.
It's a bit pricey. It's $38.
Whoa, jeez.
For the 4K disc, but
I'll wait for that to hit Kaleidoscape because Arrow works with Kaleidoscape, so I'll wait for that. It's on Kaleidoscape in HD, but I'll wait for that.
Well, I'll wait for some kind of sale, but it's Arrow, so they don't do big sales on Amazon usually. But maybe off their website they'll do something.
Yeah, it is worth picking up. You'll be glad you did. And if you haven't seen it for a long time, it is cool. And again, the audio is what you'll both be raving about the audio on this. It's great. Yeah. So
awesome. Awesome. One other thing I failed to mention when I'll go back to Last Breath for a second. Where'd it go? There we go. There is, spoiler free, but there is a audio dropout that is stunning where it's like everything goes silent. And it plays on the emotion too. I meant to mention that earlier. And it's just like, when and that's, there's always like a bed layer of sound in your room. And when they take everything away, you're just left with, uh-oh. And that's exactly what, hey, Shane. And that's exactly what they do. And it was awesome. Absolutely. It was played on your emotions and everything. Stunning.
Does it make you hold your breath?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. You're like, uh-oh. You do. I did. I was like, yeah, it was that good. So, but I wanted to get that out there. Get it on the record.
You're going to confuse AI now because you've gone back to that.
Oh yeah, well, we've got to hire like Allen Iverson or something as our editor. It's like AI. Yeah, next up.
So Shane is in the chat, and Shane says Steve is going to like Death of a Unicorn. Yeah, Shane. Now that is one I've heard of, and I've seen the trailer to that. That's the A24 kind of crazy horror movie, which does look fun. And funny enough, I've got access to a screener, so I'm going to hopefully see it in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's bonkers. It's every bit as crazy as that sounds about a couple who accidentally kill a unicorn, and these unicorns aren't friendly. So they come back for revenge.
The evil.
The Shazam 2 unicorns.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too, John.
These are like homicidal, psychopathic unicorns.
Yeah. Wow.
Trailer looks great. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's going to be cool.
Nice. We got a few minutes here before we'll get 4 minutes. We'll wrap up with this. Just our thoughts on what do we got? 2 episodes left. They dropped 2 episodes last week. Daredevil episodes. What is it? 5 and 6 just dropped last week, and 7 drops tonight. Thoughts? What did you see? Why they dropped 2 episodes?
No.
Well, I presume because one was self-contained, and then the next one kind of moves the story along.
Yeah.
I think that's it. But can we just say, I need a T-shirt that says, "We've got ourselves a solicitor." Oh, I had a grin on my face when he said that. Oh God! Which, of course, is the right way that an Irish person would refer to a criminal lawyer. They would call them a solicitor because that's what we call them. So, yes, I thought that was great. And all the way through, he's just got him the solicitor. It's great. Oh, very cool. I thought that episode was fantastic. That particular one, they were both really good, but
5,
especially 5. It's a bank robbery episode. I mean, there's a trailer to it, so it's not a surprise. But I like how that's self-contained. Obviously, we get references to other areas of the MCU, shall we say, which was also quite fun. And I did it. It took me a little while to twig on that because that was not a series that I particularly enjoyed. So it did take me a little while to work out that's who it was, but I did get
really? Okay.
Because I didn't finish that series. So it took me a little while to realize that's who it was. I thought I've seen him before, but I can't think why. And then, of course, the penny dropped. I like how self-contained that was. The only thing I would say is, and I'm going to be careful with the spoilers, like in the comics, guys, again, comic gurus, tell me this. Does Matt Murdock do what Spidey does in the comics, which is once he's got the bad guys, he webs them up, leaves a note, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and the police come and arrest them? Or does he just beat them to a pulp and leave them in the comics? Because that's what kind of seems to happen here. And it just sort of
Depends on the run.
Yeah, I was just thinking, well,
Yeah, they don't. I don't know. They don't usually go out of their way to show the aftermath of the fights.
Right.
You just kind of assume. Yeah, you just kind of
Is he reading
assume
his
the
rights?
cops amble up at some point and take them to jail. But
aren't there different, like, even like Batman, there's different versions where it's like,
Well,
here
right,
you
that's
go,
the thing, they
boys.
never
And then there's
really-
other darker ones where
Yeah.
he kicks the crap out of them. And it's,
very seldom that he's dropping them off at the front door of Arkham or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of you just assume that something happens after the fact, and that's kind of the way the comic is.
Yeah, because we never find that does it. It just, it just gets someone gets a bit of a kicking, literally,
And then he leaves. Yeah.
yeah.
That was all right. Then he's like literally walking away, kind of just just wiping his hands. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
But they
done, man.
both try not to kill,
Right.
which made the opening of this season interesting, where he did what he did. He didn't do it, but he he wanted to. Right. And it's
Well,
like that.
he didn't do it not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it.
He did it. It
It just
just,
didn't work out.
yeah. Only in the comics would that not work. It's like, take a flying leap off of, I mean, literally.
Well, the person was a bit in hand, right? I mean, it was.
Yeah. Thanks to Joe, super sticker,
Yeah. Thank you.
$2 super sticker. Thanks, Joe. Joe Klosnick.
Seen one of those for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to do that, Joe. Joe will be on a future Takeover Tuesday. We are recording super soon. So don't know when it's dropping, though. I'm trying to get a whole bunch in the bucket so I don't have to worry as much. But yeah, thanks, Joe. Awesome.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, so it's very cool. I really did enjoy them. Both of them were good, but as I said, 5 was particularly fun. I just liked how that all went.
I liked how they did that. Like, I mean, they even did it in a way that happens in the comics. You'll be in the middle of a run and you can't wait for the next comic. It comes out in like 2 weeks or next month or whatever it is, right? And you get it and you're like,
It's like
oh, no.
guest writer artist team.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're like, this isn't the story. They
Yeah.
leave you in suspense and they throw in a comment. You're like, oh no, now you got to wait 2 weeks or a month to pick up the story. And you're like, oh, so it was very comic accurate to that. I thought it was a good story that will pay off somewhere along the line, I'm sure, with some details. But then you get back to it in 6, and I thought I loved the opening scene where you have the two characters doing their thing, and then later on you have the two characters basically becoming their thing back to it. I just thought it was so well done. And to your point about the violence and everything, I just think they're doing that to make it like, yeah, everybody, we're back and it's an adult show and we're going to show you. I mean, they showed some breaks in there that were like gruesome, really nice. Like, you know, MMA stuff that you're like, oh, whoa, that was bad. So it was really good.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's a really good show. This is my favorite Marvel show, I think, of the Disney Plus era for me. I really, really enjoying this.
Well, it's the
and
most
good
adult
because-
one for sure so
Yeah,
far.
yeah, quite. But it doesn't have, you don't have to have that. I mean, I really like She-Hulk, and that's the opposite.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have that. It's not necessarily for that. It's just I like the story they're telling. They are doing it in a clever way. All the characters are interesting to me, and I wouldn't have thought that from the opening because I didn't like that opening as we've talked about. I was not impressed with that. But I think this is just getting better and better and better as it goes. So yeah, very cool. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
I thought even like they had some flashback scenes in this episode 6 to some scenes that we weren't too crazy about earlier. That even now in flashback, you're like, yeah, it's like you think of like episode 1 and how we felt in some of those early scenes, and we're like, and the show really has. I mean, it's gritty, it's real. It seems. I mean, it's Daredevil. It's I'm willing to say probably it's better than the Netflix series. Definitely better than season 2. 1 and 3 I thought were awesome. 2 was awesome too, but this is really, really good. It might be recency bias, but really enjoying it. So,
all right.
All right.
No, it's good. Very cool. Yeah, just looking at the time. Sorry, fellas.
I know, buddy. I know. We'll get you to bed. I'll get you all tucked in there.
Read me a story.
Read you a story. We told enough stories today.
Yeah, true.
All right. Thank you, everybody. No Patreon today. I got some paperwork to do for the end of the month. I got some stuff I got to get done. So no Patreon chat today. But I will be back next week. Next Tuesday I should. Yeah, no problem. And we will have Takeover Tuesday for next week. Guaranteed. I have a few lined up that I hope they don't all fail. But I'll have one way or the other. Maybe I'll have John and Steve just talk. I don't know. And I'll record it. I don't know. Whatever. Finally, one without me in it. Yeah, we should do that. Actually, one without me in it. There hasn't
You can
been a
explain
show
the offside rule to us, Deej.
Yeah.
Hey, I will do that. I will do that for you. Jeez, I'm never going to live that down. All right. On that, I'm out of here. Everybody's out of here. Thank you to everybody. Thanks to Patreon. Thanks to everybody supporting the show. I really appreciate it. Steve's got to get to bed, but you can all go home or stay home. And what do you got to do?
Go push play.
What he said
is right.
Hey, Fred.
This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.